Next up is Super Bomberman R. And now Super Bomberman R is a return to form for Bomberman. We really haven't gotten any Bomberman games in quite some time. Not much experience with the series, but I have played a couple games from time to time. I have enjoyed Pocket Bomberman on the Game Boy Color the most, but I tried putting some work into this game as well, but it does have a serious learning curve to it, and I've been trying my best, but I seem to really suck at this, so it can be frustrating at times. But at least it's a party game, and you can play with up to 8 players locally, so that is very fun and good in my opinion. But haven't had the chance to play too much of this game yet. Next is Super Mario Odyssey, and this is by far my favorite game to come out in 2017. This here is the Mario game that I had been waiting for the longest time, and I have played this to hell. Now, I still haven't gotten to the true ending of the game yet. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who might not have gotten to it yet. But I have played a hell of a lot of this, gotten through, I want to say like 90% of the content that is available in this game. I've just done so much in this game, and I still want to go back to it. Even though I have so many other games that I should be putting more time into, I found myself constantly going back to Super Mario Odyssey. Next is another release by Nicalis. Mentioned this in a previous video as well. It is the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Now, I've played the Binding of Isaac before. I played it on the Vita, and I also played it on Steam. I have been trying my best to get as much of this done as possible. I really suck at it. Basically, for those of you that don't know what Binding of Isaac is, you play as this character here, as Isaac. What he does is basically shoot out tears from his eyes as projectiles to attack the horrendous monstrosities and demons and stuff that are haunting him. And he's thrown into this series of dungeons that you have to work your way through. There are a couple of weird boss fights in there as well. It is a fairly difficult game at times. It's really easy to rage quit on this game, but for me, I haven't gotten quite to that point yet that I've been rage quitting on this. Now, the next game here is an absolute necessity in any Switch game collection. It is one of the games that I recommend to anybody who's looking to get games for their Switch. Even if they don't like this series, it is an amazing experience and I highly recommend it. It is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, this game here is the first game that I was playing for the Switch and the game that I have the most time put into. But ever since Super Mario Odyssey came out, I have been putting a lot more time into that. And since it came out, I've only played about 5 to 10 hours of this game here. But I still love this game very much. I will get back to it sooner than later. Pretty much after I get done with Mario and there's nothing else left in there for me to do, I'm going to get back to The Legend of Zelda. Now, I haven't completed this game yet. There is still one of the Divine Beasts, if I remember it correctly. One of the Divine Beasts that I still have to defeat, but I went ahead unknowingly and beat Ganon already by some miracle, and I used almost all of my food to keep myself alive. But I've played through a lot of this, finished most of the story at this point, and just need to go back and defeat that one last Divine Beast. The next game is Tiny Barbarian DX, and this is yet again another Nicalis release. I've been trying to get as many of these Nicalis games as possible. Now, Tiny Barbarian DX is your sort of standard retro action platformer game. It can be extremely difficult at times, very frustrating, but still an enjoyable experience, and it really tests your ability in this sort of game. can be very hard to get through in the beginning, but it's worth it the more and more you work at it. Now, the last game in my Switch collection, it's a game that I wasn't necessarily excited for to come out, but when I got it, I absolutely fell in love with it. I am not the best at fighting games, but I have had a lot of experience in the past with fighting games, and this is one that I'm very happy to have in my collection. It is Ultra Street Fighter 2: The Final Challengers. And yes, of course, it's another version of Street Fighter 2. And I can't think of any other game in all of video gaming history that has more variants of the exact same base game. Now, this is probably completely rebuilt from the bottom up. It probably has nothing really from the original Street Fighter 2, but again, it's still amazing and weird that they would even come out with another Street Fighter 2. But this one here, what I like about it is that you can switch between the classic sort of pixelated art style or this new, like, fully animated art style. Like, both the options are great in my opinion. And like I said, I'm not the best at fighting games, nor do I really know or choose to figure out how to play fighting games correctly, but I have lots of fun playing them, and at the end of the day, that's all that really matters with games, that you have fun playing them. And that's it for my Switch collection. Now, if you want to see more collection videos moving on into the rest of the year, please let me know in the comment section below. If there are any specific consoles that you want me to cover, also let me know in the comment section below. Anything really, anything that you have to say, comments, questions, suggestions, ideas, anything at all, just put it in the comment section below and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, and website, as well as my new Instagram as well. They are all linked in the description below. And that's it. See ya.